All right, this is chapter 3, section 4, zeros of polynomial functions. We have already discussed how to find the zeros of polynomial functions. These are just a little extra step for you to solve something by using factors or solving for your factors. So if you are looking at these, it may seem like we've done this before, but you have to factor it in the end. So make sure when you're factoring it, you're writing it out as factored as possible. So that's what we're trying to get. So we've done, like I said, we've done part of this. But sometimes the normal way we factor isn't going to work. So we're going to be using some different methods for this. So just giving you an example. We did learn the factor theorem. Okay, so just again, an example, if I were to give you x minus k, okay, we dealt with the k is what goes inside my box, and then all of my coefficients go up top, okay, and then I just use the same process with synthetic division, and that means my remainder is gonna become a 0. Okay, so when I'm factoring, if something can be factored, your remainder is going to end up with a 0. So that's how I know I can continue. I'm going to factor it. Keep in mind when you're writing your answer is going to be written as f of x is equal to whatever your factors are. And most important thing that a lot of people miss is this is a factor. So whatever you started out with, they're normally going to say something is a factor. That is also going to be part of your answer. So we're going to go ahead and look at some of the examples. We're just going to do 3 of them, and then we'll continue this next class. So before we get started, I want you to know that there are different ways that they can write this. So just so we know, and if we were to, see it a different way on a test or quiz or homework, you guys know what it means. So it says factor f of x that equals if x minus 3 is 0. And this one says if x minus 1 is a factor. That's the same thing written in a different way. So I'm going to go ahead and write them so you can see they're all the same thing. All right, so 3 ways that you can see it. One is like what they're giving you. Let me not use a highlighter so you can see it. X equals -3 is a 0. You could also see it as x, or not, let me not say -3. I will actually use k because sometimes we don't know what the number is. So k is a 0, x equals k is a 0, meaning k would be a 0. X minus k is a factor. And then one you may see somewhere down the line is k, comma 0, so this is an ordered pair, is an x-intercept. So all of these are the same, but written differently. Okay, so you can see these written this way, and you just have to know which one you're using and what you have to find. So looking at this, let's go ahead and solve it. First thing I have to do is I'm going to use my synthetic division. Factor f of x equals 6x cubed plus 19x squared plus 2x minus 3 if x equals -3 is a 0. So what do I know is a factor? I know that x plus 3 is a factor because I'm getting it from them telling me x equals -3. Okay, so I know part of my answer is going to have this in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do my synthetic division first. So what goes inside my box? It's going to be my -3. How do I know it's -3? Because it said it equals -3, so that's what I'm using. So my coefficients are 6, 19, 2, and -3. Bringing down my first number, multiplying, I'm going to get -18. Okay, adding, I'm going to multiply again, -3, that gives me -1, and this gives me +3. Keep in mind, your remainder must equal 0. If it does not, you have to go back and check. So how would I write this out as my quotient? Looking at it, I'm going to go 1 degree less than what I started with. Again, we've done this. You guys already had a quiz on it. X squared x, so I'm going to go ahead and write it out. I'm going to have 6x squared plus x minus 1. Keep in mind they want me to factor it. And we know that x plus 3 is a factor. Can I leave my answer like this? Would this be correct? Yes and no. This is not factored completely. If I were to solve this, yes, that would give me my answer. However, it is not factored completely. So I have to check. This is factored all the way. I mean, I can't do anything else with that. But can I factor this over here? Let's check. How do I factor? Multiply 6 times -1. That's going to give me a -6. So what multiplies to give me -6 but adds to give me a +1? It's going to be a +3 and a -2. So right now, what do I have? I have x plus 3, x minus 2, and don't forget to bring this down. Am I done? No. Another thing you have to pay attention. If I have a coefficient in front of my x, I have to slide and divide. So I'm dividing by 6, and this simplifies to 1/2. I don't want that fraction, so I have to slide the 2 over. And this simplifies to 1/3, slide that 3 over. So now what am I going to get? My answer is going to be, this is in factored form all the way, yes. You have to write f of x equals, I'm going to have x plus 3, 2x plus 1, and 3x minus 1. That's what I'm going to get in factored form. All of this right here would be my answer. Again, where am I getting this from? I'm getting it from what I solved right here. So please make sure you guys understand that. Again, nothing new. We've done a lot of this already. It's just determining that you have to factor what you have all the way, factored all the way. All right, let's go ahead and do example number 2, and I'm going to add one more step to find my zeros. Right now, it's just asking me to factor, so let's go ahead and factor it. What am I plugging into my box? Keep in mind, this is x minus 1, so a +1 is going to go inside. And then my coefficient is 2, -3, -5, and 6. Oof, let me move that down a little. Bring my first number down. Multiply, I'm going to get 2. Adding, I'm going to get -1. Then I'm going to end up with +5. Or no, -6. -6. And then this is going to be a -6, and I'm going to end up with 0 as my remainder. Okay, so because 0 is my remainder, I solved it correctly. Now let me go ahead and write out my quotient. 1 degree less than what I started with, x squared x. So right now I'm going to have 2x squared minus x minus 6. And don't forget, they told me x minus 1 is a factor. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. Am I done? Let's check. Can I factor my quotient? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and multiply. 2 times -6 is going to give me -12. What multiplies to give me -12 and adds to give me -1? It's going to be -4 and 3. So I'm going to have x minus 4, x plus 3, and don't forget to bring this one down. All right, don't forget, slide and divide because you have a 2. So writing it underneath, don't forget that parentheses. Simplifying, this simplifies to 2. This cannot, so I'm sliding my 2 over. So what am I going to get in the end? I have f of x equals x minus 1, x minus 2, and 2x plus 3. Again, this is nothing new, guys. We should already know how to solve these. All right, now let's just say they asked, okay, factor and find my zeros. Okay, how am I finding my zeros? All I'm gonna do is, go ahead and grab a different color that we could see. Let's say they said, find the zeros. All right, what am I going to do? I'm going to take whatever I factored and set it equal to 0. So what did I have? I had x minus 1 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, and 2x plus 3 equals 0. Solving all of these, I'm going to, inverse operations. If I'm adding one to one side, I have to add it to the other. I'm going to get x equals positive 1. Add 2 to both sides of my equal sign. I'm going to get x equals 2. And then I'm going to subtract 3. I'm going to get 2x equals negative 3. And then divide by 2. Leave it like that. Do not change it. X equals negative 3 over 2. So finding my zeros, I have 1, 2, and 3. You can also tell, how do I know I'm going to have 3? Because you are taking the degree of the highest exponent. It's 3, x to the power of 3. So that 3 is also telling me that I have to have 3 zeros. So your highest exponent tells you the amount of zeros you have. Okay, so this is my answer. If there was a question that asked, find the zeros. So 1, 2, and negative 3 over 2 are my zeros. But this is factored. Okay, factored, and these would be my zeros. Looking at the last example, factor f of x. If x equals negative 5 is a 0. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that as a factor. Just because I know I'm going to have to write my answer factored. So I'm going to have x plus 5 is a factor. And let's go ahead and start solving it. So what goes inside my box? That's going to be a negative 5. My coefficients, I have 6, 17, negative 63, and 10. Bring my 6 down. Multiply, I'm going to end up with negative 30. Add, I'm going to get negative 13. Multiply, I'm going to get 65, and that's positive. This is going to give me 2. And this is going to give me negative 10. Again, keep in mind, if you do not get a 0 as a remainder, you have to go back and check your work. Please make sure you go back and check your work. Okay, writing it out. What do I have? X to the power of 3 is what they started with, so I have to go 1 degree less. X squared, x. So right now I'm going to have 6x squared minus 13x plus 2. And don't forget, x plus 5 is a factor. And let's go ahead and see if it's factored all the way. So multiplying, 6 times 2 gives me 12. What multiplies to give me 12 and adds to give me negative 13? Negative 12 and negative 1. You guys have to know how to factor. So right now I'm going to have x minus 12 and x minus 1. Don't forget to bring this one down. And then also don't forget you need to slide and divide. Simplifies to 2 as a whole, so I don't have to slide anything. But this one does not, so I have to slide my 6. Okay, what would my answer be? I'm going to end up with f of x. Let me get a darker green so we could see it. F of x equals x plus 5, x minus 2, and 6x minus 1. All right, now let's just say they asked, okay, find your zeros. Finding my zeros, let me get a dark blue. Find the zeros. I'm going to take x plus 5, set it equal to 0. X minus 2, set it equal to 0. And 6x minus 1 equals 0. So I'm subtracting 5 from both sides of my equal sign. Please do not get these wrong. Write it out if you have to. I highly recommend it instead of trying to do it in your head, because I still have people getting these wrong. Add 1 to both sides. 6x equals 1, divide by 6. And it's going to be x equals 1/6. So this is factored right here. And these are my zeros if it asks to find your zeros. Again, what was my highest degree that they gave me? 3. Right up here. And I have 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3.